Alright guys, subscribe back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to VALORANT news and plenty to discuss today, with many teams moving out to Istanbul for Champions beginning in just a few days' time. Some further updates on the OpTic situation, whether they are still in franchising after all as it presently stands, and also Zellsis winning a 20k tournament last night in pretty impressive fashion. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you are new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that one. As I say, there's a lot of small things really to talk about. This firstly on Pearl, you can actually see a kind of, well, Champions advertisement here on the map. Pretty cool stuff. Of course, Pearl, a map that is going to be played at Champions. No split in the map pool, of course. Some would say that's unfortunate, but I'm kind of looking to see how this plays on a competitive level and what actually happens next year and what some of the reaction is from the pro players to Pearl as a map in the pool as it stands. This also because there is technically the update that came through the next act arrived yesterday. Now, effectively nothing has changed, right? Like, I think there are some changes now to crosshairs. You can now copy people's crosshairs. There's a little bit more freedom in how you kind of, well, make them effectively. But this is the Champions Phantom, which has now arrived, and the more kills you get, the more your gun glows, as you can see here on the right. And this is also the butterfly knife, which does a pretty similar thing. And at the end, with 25 kills, you get this kind of special celebration thing going on as well. So yeah, pretty cool stuff, all things considered. That's what the bundle looks like right now. Teams, of course, are getting out there. Saigetsu, he's got this awesome jersey, honestly, for FPX to go through for. I thought this looked really cool. Look at this as well. It's absolute fire, to be honest. Now, I think this hopefully means, at least, and I guess the visas have been sorted, that these guys will be there with their full roster. I know that FPX were not 100% sure, even after what happened back at Copenhagen, that they did eventually get out there and were able to play and win the entire tourney, but their entire roster can once again attend. It does seem like that will be the case. Hopefully, that will be the case indeed. And that is the information as it presently stands, but of course, not just FPX and Saigetsu that are getting out to this event. We've got Paper Rex as well. Jing and the boys, they're going out there. This is them in their kind of the larger venue. They go from Singapore, of course, all the way over to Turkey in Istanbul, and this also from Derek, Istanbul bound as well. So some teams moved out there a little bit early, right? We saw the OpTic guys were out there for, last week sometime. They moved out to Poland, right, to have a little bit of a boot camp going on. Now these guys, it seems, are probably flying straight to Istanbul, so they're going to prepare there locally, maybe have some sort of boot camp setup going on with some other teams, who knows, or just play in the hotel rooms for a couple of days. But yeah, some teams are taking the practice and the preparation very seriously indeed. Some teams may be taking a little bit less seriously, and whether that actually has any impact to the event, I suppose, is a different story. But good to see everyone on the plane and getting out there, because it's only about a week away now from when Champions officially begins. Now, this another big piece of news here from Zeta Division. So this came out a couple of weeks ago, actually, I believe, 30th of July. It was confirmed that TenZ, of course, that key piece of their Valorant team, was going to have to take a temporary rest. I believe he had some issue with the retina in his eye, and his doctor advised him to take a step down from the Valorant team while it gets healed up, or maybe does some sort of, I don't know, surgery, eye drops, whatever was necessary to heal it. Now, they brought in another player, right? I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it, so I'm not even going to try. Phonetically, I guess it's Extel or something. But, yes, he joins the roster for at least the brief period. Now, they were obviously playing with him as a substitute, and for the last couple of weeks, they've played with him as their substitute and probably done all right online in their preparation. And therefore, even though TenZ, I think people are saying, is now back and potentially ready to play, so he will be out there with Zeta, but probably not starting. He's going to attend just as a substitute for the team. They're going to still play with the roster they've been practicing with offline, or online, I guess, the last couple of weeks or so without TenZ. So that's a pretty big loss. He is going to be there as a sub, so I think he's probably okay to play and healthy again. Hopefully that's okay for him. But I guess the team feels like, well, do we really want to bring TenZ back in right before Champions when we've had all our practice and our preparation with this other guy? So, yeah, he's going to be there as a sub. Maybe that happens, but yeah, the whole Zeta Division kind of, hopium that people had might not necessarily carry so much weight without a guy like TenZ on the starting roster as it stands. This also real quick, because obviously we saw that Nats departed from the M3C roster yesterday, and people have been wondering whether Chronicle, Shados, Redgar, these guys, as a team of three, will just attract suitors on their own, or whether these individuals will go elsewhere. Now, some have been indicating possibly that, for example, in Chronicle's bio, he now no longer has any reference to M3C, which, I'm not really sure whether that really means anything here at all. But some people have said it, and I'm not even sure that's true that he removed it, because I wasn't able to find the history here, but some have said he's removed M3C, which might mean that he's also going to depart effectively and be a completely free agent on his own. So this roster maybe at an end, or maybe a core three of these guys will get picked up next season. Speaking of this real quick, the VRL, the regional league for the CIS region that's been cancelled since March 2022 for obvious reasons, is now officially back. So it's kind of unclear exactly how and which region regions are going to get precisely involved in this once again, or which regions are able to, but that's pretty cool that we're going to start up next year again in 2023. This is also a quick update, because yesterday we saw the tweets going around between, of course, well, it was Ye and Chet, right, kind of implying that something might be going on internally at OpTic. George Geddes believes this is nothing to do with the franchising side, saying that teams are not told whether they're in franchising or their partnership league until mid-September. So everything is effectively remaining unclear from all the teams until, I guess, the end of Champions, pretty much, where the teams find out. Because it would be kind of strange if OpTic, who are in the running right now for a partnership spot, get told, like, right now that they're not in franchising, and then they have to go into Champions knowing that they're not even going to be there and going to drop their roster. Like, it's not really good for anyone in terms of team dynamic and stuff to go into the World Championship in that kind of mindset. So his understanding is that no one's been told yet, and there's no information yet. But he does say this is related to internal stuff within the organization. This was the tweet, of course, from Ye. Interesting times ahead after Champs, in terms of, you know, of course, look, this could mean anything. Obviously, there are going to be interesting times ahead with partnership coming into play. But this was the tweet that came out a couple of weeks ago now with regard to OpTic's long-term future, with Crashy's and Victor's contracts expiring during Champions. So, you know, I think the way it works is they're going to be free agents. So, like, if they want to keep the same 5 going into next year, they will need to re-sign on these guys. But of course, depending on what happens at Champions, could be a different story. So maybe this is what Ye's referring to, that at Crashes and Victor, their contracts are up, and therefore, like, you know, it's kind of expected, really, with all the other teams making changes, that if OpTic don't effectively win this event or come very close to winning it, then they will probably make moves. So I think Ye is maybe kind of preempting that with his statement, but I think the team has said recently they do want to stick together. But of course, with franchising happening and things changing, and this has happened in other esports, when franchising happens, like, rosters go crazy even if teams do incredibly well. I think there's a possibility this team makes changes regardless, and Ye and Chet maybe see that coming, depending on how things go. That could be what they're talking about, as opposed to the franchising conversation. There's also one Zellsis who I thought was pretty cool. Like, yeah, one Misfits 20k. He actually said, we looked in yesterday's video, I'm pretty sure we did, that he was going to make the comeback through the losers bracket to win the entire thing. That's exactly what he does. Like, this was the bracket right here. Pretty cool tournament, actually, kind of mix of, you know, pro players, content creators, and also some of the top female players. Fluorescent as well, actually, like a really exciting prospect. I believe she's still 15, maybe 16 now, signed for the Misfits Game Changers team. And she was, of course, on Zellsis' roster. They made the losers bracket comeback here from all the way from losers round 1 after losing to Starlight, going all the way through losers and winning the entire tourney as well in the grand final. These are kind of the final numbers here. They played Breeze and they played Fracture 13-11, 13-9, pretty close for the fair. But yeah, Zellsis' team, he was on the Neon actually on this second map that won the entire thing. So yeah, congratulations to everyone here. 20k split between these guys, and I'll just share the reaction video right here. And just after I share the reaction video, I'll share something real quick from Subroza. He is just baiting and joking around here, I'm pretty certain, but it is worthy of mentioning regardless, given some of the relationships that may be forming.
You're good.
Breach is on B. Go, go, go.
Okay, come. Can you smoke, Guapo?
You ready? Come, let's go through. Go on, through. I'm not hit.
Top side, I think.
Top side?
Yeah, on stairs.
Let's go! Let's go! Woo! GG! Run me my money! Run me my money! Holy...
That's free.
That is free. That is free bread, Guapo. Free bread.
Yeah, what was the tweet? Okay, my life.
Easiest 20k on my life. Easiest 20k on my life. Holy.
Oh, again. See, this guy trusts me. I'm streaming, dude. What is wrong with this dude? He has problems. Joking. Let's go back to the knife subject.
So Subroza, of course, he had this message from TenZ. He was like, wow, when he signed the NRG contract, I'm sure it was all orchestrated and they were just having a bit of a laugh here. But look, at the same time, next season at TSM, we don't know if they're going to get into franchising. We expect they will. NRG, we don't know if they're going to get into franchising. We'd still expect that they will. But like, obviously, neither of those teams made champions. Neither of those teams made any international events this season. Those teams will surely make roster changes. So it's not like for sure Subroza's going to go to NRG or anything, because you would expect him to stay on TSM. But, NRG will be making a change. We'd imagine that to be the case. Same with TSM. Now, these players, respectively, TenZ and, of course, maybe Subroza as well, stay on their respective teams. But if they are, pretty good friends, right, and they've had a fair few discussions like this, then maybe a possibility of TenZ and Subroza teaming up could be an option, right? Because, like, if both of these organizations do get through, like, Subroza might be off TSN, they might completely blurt their team and go a different route. Like, maybe, Subroza to NRG could be an opportunity, right? It's an interesting one for sure, but I wouldn't rule anything out with this period to come. And just to mention this, actually, because in the MCT Premiership Season 3, TSM actually played TSM Academy last night, and, thankfully for Subroza and his team, they got to keep their job because they took down the Academy 2-0. But yeah, that's going to do it for the video for today. Very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on the like button and tell us YouTube gods this is a good video, and also like you should see it as well. And I've grown the competitive Valorant community. Thank you much as always. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.